This bird doesn't steal food by accident. It studies the situation, waits for the perfect moment, and executes the plan. Now imagine this. You place food outside your window for just a few minutes. You turn away, and when you come back, it's gone. No sound, no witness, no obvious thief. Just a bird sitting quietly nearby, watching you. At first, scientists believed birds behave only on instinct. Eat, fly, survive, repeat. But then something strange started happening in multiple studies around the world. Certain birds were not just reacting, they were planning, they were observing patterns, they were waiting for mistakes. And in some cases, they were even coordinating like a team. One researcher described it in a way that shocked the scientific community. It felt like the bird already knew what was going to happen before we did. And this is where things get even more disturbing, because these birds don't just solve problems, they solve them like criminal masterminds. Today, we are going deep into the hidden intelligence of birds that plan, trick, adapt, and outsmart their environment in ways that still confuse scientists. And by the end of this video, you might start looking at birds completely differently. If you're new here, welcome to Bird IQ World, where we explore the smartest, strangest, and most mysterious behaviors in the animal kingdom. If you enjoy content like this, make sure to subscribe right now, because every week we uncover new stories about animal intelligence that most people have never heard before. Now let's begin. In one famous observation, scientists in urban areas noticed something unbelievable. Certain birds had learned how to use human traffic systems. Here's how it worked. These birds would pick up hard nuts that they couldn't break with their beaks. Instead of giving up, they placed the nuts carefully on the road. Then they waited. Cars passed over them. Crack, the shell broke open. But here's where it gets incredible. The birds didn't rush immediately. They waited. They observed the traffic signals. They learned the difference between danger and safety, red light, green light, movement patterns. And only when the timing was right, they retrieved their food. This is not instinct, this is strategy. A basic survival behavior turned into a calculated operation, almost like a thief studying security cameras before making a move. Now let's go deeper. Some birds don't just use timing, they use deception. And it's shockingly effective. In several field studies, birds were observed creating distractions on purpose. One bird would act aggressively in one direction, while another quietly moved in the opposite direction. Humans watching often assumed it was random chaos, but it wasn't. It was coordination. Even more interesting is how these birds adapt. When a strategy stops working, they don't fail repeatedly. They change their behavior. They improve. They adjust. This is where scientists started asking a serious question. If a bird can modify its strategy based on failure, is it still instinct? Or is it something closer to decision-making intelligence? One of the most disturbing discoveries in bird behavior is this. Some birds don't just recognize humans, they remember them. For years, experiments have shown that certain birds can identify specific human faces. If a person feeds them, they remember. If a person threatens them, they remember that too. But here's the real shock. They don't just remember silently, they share that information. One bird reacts, others follow, almost like a warning system. Imagine walking into a park, and every bird already knows who you are. Friendly or dangerous, trusted or avoided. Scientists tested this repeatedly. And each time, birds reacted differently depending on human identity. This is not simple memory, this is social intelligence. Now let's talk about problem solving. In controlled experiments, scientists created puzzle boxes designed to test bird intelligence. The goal was simple: food inside. Locked system, multiple steps required. Most birds failed at first, but a few didn't. They paused, observed, tried different combinations, failed, adjusted, and eventually solved it. But what shocked researchers wasn't just success, it was repeat performance. Some birds remembered solutions days later. That means they weren't randomly guessing. They were learning patterns, building memory maps, improving efficiency. This level of behavior is often associated with much larger-brained animals. Yet here it was, in a small bird. Now here's where everything connects. Across different studies, different countries, different species, the same pattern appears. Birds don't just act, they respond strategically to their environment. They watch human behavior, learn timing patterns, avoid risk zones, test new strategies, adjust after failure. This creates something very unusual, not random intelligence, but structured decision-making behavior, almost like a system, a process, a plan. And that's why researchers sometimes describe it in one sentence. It feels like the bird is thinking ahead. Now we reach the most important part. Bird brains are extremely small compared to humans, so logically, complex planning should be limited. But reality is different. Birds consistently demonstrate abilities that challenge this assumption. So scientists are left with one question: is intelligence about brain size, or how efficiently that brain processes information? Because if birds can plan actions, remember individuals, adapt strategies, solve multi-step problems, then what we are seeing might not be instinct at all. It might be something much closer to advanced intelligence. And we still don't fully understand it. So next time you see a bird sitting quietly on a rooftop, don't assume it's doing nothing. Because behind those small eyes, there might be observation, analysis, planning, waiting for the perfect moment, like a criminal mastermind. If you enjoyed this deep dive into bird intelligence, make sure you subscribe to Bird IQ World for more mysterious animal behavior stories every week. And now I want to hear from you. Do you think birds are smarter than we give them credit for? Or is it all just instinct? Let me know in the comments below. Also tell me, what mysteries should we explore next? Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.